Okay, what's going on, Hillman family? Your boy Ray, aka DJ Diggy, back with the first episode. Back like we never left. You know what I mean? With the first episode of Hillman Rewind. Nichole, what's going on? What's going on?
What up? What up? I'm excited that we're finally doing this. I feel like we are prepared. I'm excited to discuss all the things and see whatever comes out your mouth during the episode and see if you can be nice the whole episode and not give me a hard time. On this
Hey,
episode, huh?
I just want to let everybody know, man. I love your Hillman shirt. It is
Thank
giving,
you.
it's giving nice. It is giving theme. What?
hmm I mean, I like your shirt too. They can't really see all of your shirt, but we'll make sure we'll
Right,
post it on socials, what you look like. Make sure you take a selfie today and we'll post
right,
it.
right.
Facts.
Little something,
I love that you're wearing purple.
man. Royalty. You know how that goes. You
I mean,
know.
it's something. I mean, you want to tell the people who can't see us what I'm wearing? What color?
I love the fact that you have that Hillman red. You know what I mean? You got that red
Mm,
on for
facts.
red is good
Red
sometimes
is
when it
good,
comes to women.
right?
Red
Yeah,
is
I
good
mean,
when it
it's
comes.
red and white. It's a red and white. Make sure we're not confusing. Other people might be listening. All right, so on
Right.
this first episode, we're talking about three things. We're talking about first time dorm experiences, meeting new people, and we're comparing the privileged and well off and the differences there. Good?
Good. Sounds good. Let's get it.
All right. So I'm gonna let you go first. You started college before I did. What's your experience of the first time you moved into a dorm? What was that like for you?
All right. I'm not gonna tell you how you just hit me with a Jaleesa move and said that I started college. Whatever. Whatever. You know what I mean? I'll take it. You know,
Uh-huh.
so to just really give like a quick little small background, you know what I mean? I started at Benedict College as a freshman and I did a year there. And then I moved over to the illustrious
Mm,
Clark Atlanta University, you know.
mm.
And so I was the older person that was in the dorm, you know. Shout out to New Res now, called Brawley, you know, the second Brawley. But yeah, that was me when I first got in. One of my cousins stayed in the dorm. I stayed with him for a little bit until my dorm was ready. I met my roommates. You know, they were all cool people. It was one of
How
those
many did you
experiences being
have?
around. I actually had it was three of us. No, four of us all together. We was like in a little suite and we each had our own room, but the common area, you know.
Wait, you had a suite your first year at Clark? How'd y'all sh
Yeah, my
share
first year.
bathrooms?
No. Two of us had one bathroom on one side, the other two had a bathroom on the other side. It
Wow,
was it was
bougie. That's what's up. I love that.
it was a
Um,
so it was a luck of the draw, actually. There was no
mm,
room. Their roommate
mm-hmm.
moved out. One of them was a friend of my cousin. Told me about it. I went up there like Dwayne Wayne, said some things, got in there. You know
Said
how
some
that go.
things. I mean, I don't because I had restrooms at the end of the hall. So all of us on our hall went to the group showers, the group restrooms. So my freshman year, it was not all that. No, no, sir. We had a sink. You could wash your hands in the room. You could wash your face, brush your teeth, maybe. But outside of that, everything was down the hall. It was a very new experience for me. And my floor was all women. But there was a co-ed dorm. So you come out the hallway, you might run into a man wearing a towel, you know? It was a really good look as a freshman, first time stepping outside. Um, I was in Creswell, so my first year was at the University of Georgia, and I had a white roommate. We're not spending a lot of time on her. She didn't stay very long. But it was clean. You know what I'm saying? We had a kitchen on the floor, so it was straight. For freshman dorms go, outside of not having a restroom, I got by. I got by. It was
So
straight.
just want to help out with that a little bit, right? So rewinding just a little bit, Hillman Rewind, you know how that works.
Yes.
My actual freshman year was Benedict College, right?
hmm
Um, a friend of mine back at home, he was a sophomore, and I hopped in the car with him and his mom. We got there. I had a suitcase, I had a video game with no TV, and that was just me and a roommate. That was me and a roommate. Put the bunk. We made the bunk beds with the
hmm
dresser. You know what I mean? The shower at the end of the hall where you got to wear your slides
Okay.
because
Thank you
people.
for that. Mm.
people feet nasty. You got to wear your slides
People
and
nasty,
have
not just their feet.
Benedict. Benedict did not have co-ed dorms. Benedict is like girls' dorm, guys' dorm. That's just how it was on campus. When you stepped a little bit off campus, maybe like the other side, just a tad bit, they had like the upperclassmen dorms. Those are a little co-ed, but the freshmen, we was on lock. You know what I mean? We was on lock, and it
You had a
was it was
curfew,
a good
right?
experience. We did not have a curfew. I was in a marching band, so we didn't have a curfew. We was
Oh,
up till like
privileges.
practice. But I can say groupings. It was a lot of groups. Like it was like, oh, they from Jersey. Oh, they from Charleston. Like they was like
Oh,
on different. That was like my main experience of Benedict. I noticed like people found the people that was from their city, they state.
got
You know
it.
what I mean? My roommate was from Connecticut. So it just so happened to be that way that my roommate was from Connecticut. We was cool. He was from Hampton, I'm from Bridgeport. And we kind of rocked out. It was all right. We had our moments.
That's what's up. I appreciate you dropping our name in, Hillman Rewind, because for the first episode, we didn't even tell people we were talking about. We just kind of jump right into talking. So I want to
Right.
rewind for a second for all those first time listeners, which should be everybody. The show Hillman Rewind, we're talking about episodes of Different World, and we're discussing whatever themes come up there and connecting it to real life. Does that cover the highlights of what we're doing?
Yeah, it covers, it does that. It
It
does
does that.
that.
It does that. We both went to HBCUs, but we have different experiences because I didn't do an HBCU for undergrad. I did an HBCU for my master's and my PhD. But we did both go
Oh,
to the Clark Atlanta University, which is where Different World was themed, along with other schools in AUC.
I just want to throw out there when you get your master's at Clark, you say the Clark Atlanta University. When you get your undergrad, you say the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. It's a little difference. It's real
You're right.
minor.
Little
Nothing
minor difference. Remember, we said we're gonna be
minor.
nice though, right? We're gonna be nice. That's cool. I feel you. When I got my master's there, it was a little bit different. You're absolutely right. So I'm eager to hear the things I missed not being an undergraduate student there.
No
Right?
doubt. No doubt.
Can you remember like the first dope person outside of your roommate that you met on campus? You have a memory of that?
Um, the first dope person that I met was I want to say yes, Jarvis Jackson, right?
First and last
Jarvis Jackson.
name. I
Yeah,
hope he's
Jarvis
doing
Jackson.
good.
Everybody called him Danger, and I was in my cousin's room, politicking, whatever. He was up there and he was a part of the marching band. And me being a transfer student, I was like, I'm not doing that again. I'm just gonna chill out. And he kind of
Mm,
just he talked to me. He convinced me, like, come down, check this out. If you don't like it, you can leave. And the rest was history. You know what I mean? I went down
that's
there
dope.
and still rocking out to this day. So yeah, it was he
Mm.
definitely was a part of my story. I can say that for sure. And we still, even to this day, on our 9 to 5, we work together. So
Oh, that's what's up.
yeah,
That's really dope. Yeah.
Larry
Okay.
Jackson.
Okay, let's see. I used to have it was a group of four girls when I was in school. We all lived in the same dorm, and we considered ourselves the girlfriends. So you remember back in the day they had that show Girlfriends with Joan and there's escaping me. What's their names? You remember all four of their names?
No, I do not, but I
Joan,
do remember.
Maya. We had
Is
all
it a
those
theme?
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were the four girls and we would call each other by those nicknames. I was Joan back then, but Maya, Tony, and I can't think, and Lynn, that's who it was. Lynn, Joan, Tony, and Maya. And I met some friends. I'm not going to give their first and last names on the air, but I met them way back then in college and we stuck it through thick and thick for a good 15 years afterwards. We've all gone our separate ways now. I could probably say what city everybody's in, but we don't talk like we used to. But girls' relationships are different from guys. So once y'all create a bond, y'all are in it for life. But women can tend to be
Um,
catty or just grow and change as we get families and kids and
I
things. But I
saw
hope they're
that.
well. I hope
I
they're all
saw that.
thriving and doing well. They're a great group of women.
The first
Do you have
episode
any?
speaks to that. It
Say
was,
what?
yeah, it was. I said that first episode speaks to that so hardly. Like it's so realistic how that works. That's what's up.
Which part? You talking about Whitley and how she behaved compared to how Jaleesa behaved?
Facts. And just women in general in the dorm. And I'm not even gonna lie, I was that Dwayne Wayne. Hey, how you doing today? Like introducing myself. I was that guy on campus to an extent. I love to meet
Okay,
people,
but he was only
even to
talking to, no, it wasn't people. He was only talking to women. That you were
the
that
set.
guy? You were that guy? Just
Set was
introduce yourself. I forgot that the very first scene of the episode is him breaking the wall, like he's talking directly to the camera, like, hey, like, what's your name? Da, 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 da. I forgot all about that until we just saw it. And then he talked to every single girl that walked by. So you're the type of man that talks to every single girl that walks by and hopes one of them bites? Is that your type, sir?
I see that every single person that walks by.
You
You
said that,
know,
but you
every
also said I was like Dwayne, and that's what Dwayne is in the first season. We're gonna see how he
as
evolves
a
into the
young
man.
as a young man, I can say that I've had moments. I can say that.
Mm.
It was all right. Great college experiences. We're not going to dive deep into that. That's
Did
what
you have
that's
any
what therapy's for.
rivals? That's what therapy's
Rivals.
for. Yeah.
Rivals as in what? What do you mean rivals? Like school or
Yeah,
like
like,
a
did you have
person? Like
anyone? Okay, so like Whitley. Whitley and Denise's first episode got a little bit of beef, right? We know it's not going to stay like that, but they have a small, their first impression compared to who they really are. It's a little bit different. Did you have anyone that you might have had a bad first impression with that turned out to be really dope after the fact?
um no, not really, to be honest. A lot of my friends that I first met were my cousin's friends. I didn't know anybody,
Mm.
so um one of my friends I grew up with, he went to Morehouse right next door, and we barely saw each other because I was in the band. So coming in, it was more like I was the new quiet person in the band. I can't
Quiet
say no, no.
person?
Let's again rewind. Let's rewind.
Rewind.
No, say um one of the people that I met that we didn't like each other in the very beginning, I would say, is Brandon, right? And
Seriously?
yeah, it's Brandon, and me and Brandon has become as close can be. Like, he's my daughter's godfather, and like we're friends to this day. Like I can call him for anything. But when we first met, that wasn't it. Like it was
I mean, you
like,
know what? When we
like
first met, I didn't think we were gonna like each other either. You got that asshole
right? No, no, no,
energy
no.
type situation. But look at us now. We family.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say,
You were nice to me when we
everybody
first met.
everybody doesn't have thick skin. And when we first met, I think yeah, I was nice to you. I gave you directions.
No, your friend gave me
I gave you that.
directions. But but you were not. And you barely remember that occasion. After that is when you started to you gave me
It
thick
was
skin. So let me take this opportunity right now to thank you for teaching me how to have thicker skin. And you're still teaching me to this day, teaching me how to be less aggressive in the friendship situation, right? So I thank you right now,
no.
publicly to the world. I thank you, Ray, for helping me have thicker skin. Moving on. You don't have to respond. Don't worry about it. Moving on to the third theme, privileged and well off. This was your suggestion of a theme, so I'm really curious because I have some opinions, but I want to know what yours is. The difference between those
Okay.
two.
There's a big difference, right? So, like, just jumping in the episode with Whitley, right? Whitley, her
Hmm.
father's a judge. She was just real privileged. She had like her whole perfume counter, and she didn't have a roommate. And when she got a roommate, she was talking about massaging. Yeah, like her roommate was more like an assistant to her. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And she spoke about, you're from the Huxtables of wherever. You know what I mean?
Brooklyn.
And she was, yeah, she was a family that knew people by being like me, being the Andrews. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're from the
Hmm.
Andrews family, like that type of situation. But parents that are, people who come from families that are just kind of well off, their experiences are different. They don't have the I went shopping and just bought it all type situation. They still have their lessons of life. It may not be growing up from the bottom of the gutter, you know what I mean? But it's also not growing up in a place of major privilege. You know what I mean? You still get the life lessons of, I guess, in this world of racism. You know what I mean? You still get the lessons of not having, the lessons of um, being afraid to ask your parents for certain things, like where if you're privileged, you're just like, oh, daddy will buy it. Oh, let me ask
Mm,
daddy. He'll get for you.
okay.
You know
So
what I
in
mean?
both
Not
situations, the kids are both blessed. One is just more spoiled than blessed, you would think?
more spoiled than blessed. One has been handed it all, where others would have to they gain their experience based on somewhat of work, you
Okay,
know?
so I would say, um, I don't think bougie is an offensive term, but I'd claim you say that bougie would be the privileged side because I have moments of bouginess. And I think the well off side, from your definition of it, in my mind, I'm thinking that the parents might be well off and the kids are just a byproduct. So there are situations in the Cosby's and a different world where, oh, my mommy has money and my daddy has money, but I have to earn what I get later on. So I feel like, especially in the first episode, I think everyone was well off, maybe except for Jaleesa, because they're able to afford going to that institution to have their dorm paid. But as we progress through the show, I think we realize that Denise, even though her family, her parents are a lawyer and a doctor, she still has to earn her keep and she still has to establish herself and get her own name for herself. So I think that she's still well off because she was raised with the blessings of these two dope parents with careers and she could see the vision for herself. But she's not super privileged because her parents taught her balance. So I think you made it really clear when you did finally explain it because I was just thinking like broke money and no money situation, but it
No,
seems
no, no.
more in depth
It's
when you start to break it
and it's,
down.
and it's kind of like the difference where she could have got the money for the dorm, no problem. Asked her dad, you know what I mean? And he was waiting
That's
for the
not this
ask.
episode, sir.
Oh,
Pause.
my bad. My fault.
Exactly. We're gonna save that nugget for the next episode. This episode, we're
That part.
only talking about how, but you know what? So Denise had that moment in this episode, that whole privilege and well off. She had a moment of privilege when she decided to move out of Jaleesa's room. Cause she's like, you know what? I got options. I'm leaving.
And yeah, I wouldn't even consider that privilege. I think it's more how women get down. Like she didn't like the response and she felt like that pride kicked in and she was like, it was like women, I ain't
You
gonna
being
pretend to know
sexist right
women.
now? Okay,
No,
appreciate
I'm not
it.
pretending to know women, but you
Okay.
said it earlier. Men tend to build that bond, right? And it's like there, but women have moments where they can be kind of catty. And when Jaleese found out that Denise went to the director, the dorm director, that she felt some type of way. You know what I mean? And
As she should.
instead of it being more of a conversation of what did I do wrong, right? Or a conversation of what was the issue. It was more like you went behind my back. And in my head, when I was watching the episode, I was like, I don't even know you. Like that would have been me. I don't even know you
So
yet.
you
You
were
know what I mean?
okay. Yeah, I saw something totally different because she did go behind her back. How we lived with each other, even if it was a day, we lived
It
with
was
each
a
other.
day.
We
I
live
don't
with each other, and
know
you're not
you.
even giving me the benefit of the doubt. But y'all are adults. You're not giving me the benefit of the doubt to have the conversation. Jaleesa is straight, in my opinion. She's like, "Bet, do what you want to
Jale-
do."
Jaleesa is an adult. Denise is a semi-adult. You know what I mean? The maturity's not there yet. And it was a day.
Neither one of them
I
were
don't
mature
know
in
you.
that situation. Neither
Right.
one. But
But
my
she
thing
did
is,
she apologized and
they both
Jaleesa kind of
apologized.
snapped like, you know what? I got you. I know Whitley ain't it, but it ain't this. And I'm about to be I'm about to be out.
Jaleesa
She
didn't
took
kick
her
her out
mess.
though. Jaleesa
She
didn't
didn't kick her
kick her
out.
out. Denise moved out on her own. She decided that she wasn't gonna take living with an adult that cared about books. So that little spark that she gave, Denise was in the wrong. I don't think Denise was in the wrong. She said, "Hey, we can't
I think
talk." Because, and I say this, you know what? So when Denise did that with Jaleesa and she didn't have the conversation towards the end of the episode, she went to Whitley and she was like, "Hey, I think we should talk about this. I think we should be honest." That whole situation came from her not talking to Jaleesa. Jaleesa taught her that talking is important. That's your roommate. She didn't go to the dorm director on Whitley, right?
right. She didn't go on her because she didn't have any other options. Whitley was the only person without a roommate.
She had options. She could have
Oh,
stayed where she was at. You right?
she could have stayed where she's at, but I mean, once you move out, who's thinking to themselves like I'm going right back? Because she was still beefing with Jaleesa. You know what I mean? So she like, look, I
Hmm.
ain't got no other options. Let's get this all out on the table. Let's figure it out, right? Because your back is against the wall, and you realize that um your thoughts of Jaleesa, right? Her thoughts, Denise's thoughts of Jaleesa was you're divorced, you
No, we're not
possibly went to
talking
jail.
about, yeah, we ain't talking about Jaleesa.
That's
We just
episode.
talking about the privilege. I
Yeah,
know it, but we're gonna dig into that later. We're gonna
well,
tease them for the next
well, what I'm
episode.
saying, what I'm saying is, no, that's not the next episode that I'm looking into. The first episode was when she met Whitley. Whitley spread the rumors in the beginning. You know what I
She
mean? That's that
started,
privilege.
right?
That's that privilege.
Okay.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
let me just tell you what's going on with such, like she got all the tea. Like she's
All the
that
tea.
girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she felt like she was that girl, but being that girl also puts a bug in somebody's ear that is not quote unquote privileged. And it sets the tone. You know, I felt like it set the tone for the episode right in the beginning when Whitley did that. You know what I
So do
mean?
you feel like you
And
fall in either one of those categories? Were you privileged or well off? Because you went to HBCU right out of high school. How do you feel about that?
um I wouldn't say definitely not privileged. Shoot. But I can say after a while, my parents were well off. Like we came from the bottom and then we worked our way. Like my parents worked their way all the way up to get us to a good place.
Mm-hmm.
And still, even with grace of God gave me a scholarship because my parents weren't talking about no, I'm paying for school. So that wasn't a thing, you know. So I
Right.
was, I was blessed with a scholarship. So I would say I would be in the well-off category. But I was able to see it. A lot of people are not
Gotcha.
able to see it. You know what I mean? So I think that's a big difference. And I can tell when somebody sticks their nose up around me, like that bothers me, to
Hmm.
be, you know,
I
do
like
that thing
it.
that you do something, you know.
What thing I do sometimes?
The little
You just
nose
can't
thing,
help it. You just couldn't be nice for a whole, what, 10 minutes? You just could not do it. You had to, like, you know what? I feel like I'm being too nice. Did you get itchy? Did you feel the stress of being nice? Are you contagious? Is it
I felt,
contagious? Huh?
I felt
You
niceness
felt
brings
it.
weakness. I felt it.
Whatever. Whatever. So, I appreciate that definition. I feel good about it. Let's recap what we discussed today before we give them some homework. Okay? You want to hit them with
Mhm.
the three themes?
Okay, we can hit them with the three themes. First, dorm room experience. Second theme would be meeting new people. And the third would be privileged versus well-off students.
Facts. So on every
Mm.
episode, after the episode, we're gonna share some Hillman homework with you. We want you guys to get engaged. We want y'all to talk to us online. We want y'all to talk to each other. We want to share these experiences that the young kids haven't experienced yet or they might be unfamiliar with. And we want to make sure that we're leaving an impression with you. So the homework for today. We want you to share your actions of your first dorm experiences. So might share the name of your first dorm, hit us up, PWI, HBCU. We want to know what that was like and what you remembered all these years later. If you're in school, we want to know what your first dorm experience is like. We want to know how it changed because even being so far removed out of school, I'm surprised that for a freshman and sophomore, you had your own bathroom. Like, that's pretty great to me. I wonder what the kids get now. I bet you they all have their own restrooms or they share between one other person. They don't even know what a hall. Do they even have group showers anymore in dorms? What you think?
Um, I think at Clark they still have some of the old school dorms, but a majority are like the suites. They have their own bathroom in that suite. I think in Brawley, that's where the newly Brawley is where I stayed. They called it New Res back then. But they still have Murner Hall. Them girls are
Hmm.
sharing the bathroom. They always share the bathroom.
Like the
Beckwith
whole
Hall.
hall
They
shares the
share.
bathroom?
Yeah, that's how it was back in the day. Those dorms haven't changed. You know what I mean? Beckwith is
Mm.
still across the street from the stadium, and they still share. Like I think they share, if I'm not mistaken, Beckwith has like four to a bathroom. They don't have like the whole
That's
hall
not
share
that
the bathroom.
bad.
Yeah,
I mean, like
Beckwith wasn't
30, 40 people for one bathroom. I mean, there's
well,
multiple showers
Murner.
in there, but that's tight.
Yeah, but them other ones on the other side of campus, they sharing. They sharing that. That's
That's
old
wild.
school.
All right, all right.
They
So we want to hear from y'all. Y'all share y'all experiences, y'all dorms experiences. But we also want to share every episode. I will be sharing with you my favorite quote from the episode. And Ray, what you gonna be sharing?
I will be sharing again the vibes, the music. You know how that goes.
That's okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to share my quotes first?
You can share your quote. You can share your quote.
Okay.
That's cool.
I got two. I got two quotes. So Ray reminds you what the things were. My two quotes were the first one, getting along with other people is a sign of growing up. So even though you might have a bad first impression with somebody, you got to grow up. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to balance it. You got to learn how to understand other people's point of view and get along with them because you can't pick your coworkers when you get into the real world. And then the second one I got, which I don't like how she used it, but it's still a good quote. Um, you only get out of a relationship what you put into it. So Denise says that to Jaleesa when she comes back in, like she's being the bigger person, like you only get out what you put in. So I've decided I'm gonna put in everything to this relationship. But it was cap because she started off all in the wrong
Right.
kind of way. But I do think that's a good thing. If you put in a good time to a relationship, I hope that you get a good return on your investment. You like
That's
that?
real. I like
I
that. That was good.
I want to know your songs. I'm really curious.
So my song, right? It's really only one song, but it is the first episode aired in September 1987, right?
Hmm.
And during that time was a time of love, you know what I mean? 80s, So my song is the number one hit, LL Cool J, I Need Love, That's my song. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes that's
Yeah, I
that's
did
that
not know
that was
that
a
was the
jam.
number one song that year. That's what's up. I love it.
Number one hip hop song in 1987 uh was
Ah,
the
87. Man, that does
LL
not
Cool.
feel like that long ago. I remember that
Right.
video. That's wild. Okay. Did you only have one song today or did you have
Good?
two?
Was that good? You gonna bump it today?
That was
I want everybody
good.
to go bump that. You know what I mean? Get a little taste of the 80s. Go bump that. The young
We might
LL,
play, yeah, we should play it on the Instagram. We should post it, like tag this video with that song.
Yeah,
That
we
might be
could do
hot
that.
if I could figure out how to do it. All right, so I think that's next episode. What should they be looking forward to? What we're gonna talk about next episode?
The next episode we will be basically talking about the relationship between Jaleese and Denise. We'll also be talking about the new a new person. I ain't even gonna let it out. Go watch it. Go
All
watch it,
right, go
people.
watch it, go
But
watch it.
there's a few things that happened in this new episode that was pretty good. Dealing in pride, dealing with growing up, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
get
differences.
ready. Get ready. Next episode is gonna be good. Get ready. Go watch it. Then come back, holla at us. Let's talk about it.
For sure, for sure. The episodes, our podcast will have spoilers, so we highly recommend you watch the episode before you listen to the podcast so you don't miss anything, from the show.
You're gonna
So
tell it.
we're gonna tell it all. We're gonna tell it all. So make sure you see it before you listen to the podcast. We're gonna have releases weekly. We know this on Netflix, so you can probably binge it, but just come back and check with us and let us know what you think so we can share the vibe together. Before we go, remember that words have powers, so make yours count.
And don't forget, man, look like a good beat. Keep the vibe going and let the music play.
We out.